In our previous video, we got our simple Flask application up and running, but we want to be able to do much more than just return plain text. What we can do in our return from our index function here is to return HTML. If I put an opening h1 tag before the word hello, a closing h1 tag after, then an opening h2 tag before the word world, and a closing h2 tag after that, then we can see when I save that and refresh my live preview, it's actually being rendered as HTML. The browser sees the h1 and h2 tags and renders it as HTML. That's useful, but at the same time, we don't want to have to type all of our content into a Python file. That would make things extremely complicated. What we can do to get around this is to import the render template function from Flask. Then, instead of returning text, I'm going to return render template index.html. Where does Flask find this index.html file? Well, Flask expects it to be in a directory called templates with an S, which should be at the same level as our run.py file. I will create the templates folder now. Flask will look inside of this directory to find the HTML files referenced in our return. Within templates, I will now create my index.html file, then open it for editing. To get started, I will type HTML:5, then press the Tab key, which is the Emmet shortcut to insert a standard HTML boilerplate. For now, I will just update my title to read Hello Flask. Inside of the body, I'm going to create a simple navigation element. Within my nav tags, I will create an unordered list that contains a list item with an anchor tag for a link. For now, it is just going to have the hash as the destination for our href and the link text of home. If I go to the end of the line and type Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, then this will make a duplicated line underneath it. I'll change the text from home to about, because our aim is to have two pages that we can navigate between. Then, below the nav element in the body, I'll just create an h1 tag and put the words home page inside of that. When I save this and refresh my preview, I can see that I have my little navigation element and my home page h1. Flask has rendered the contents of my index.html template. Let's right-click on our index.html page and select Duplicate in order to create our About page. I'll just rename that to about.html and immediately open it for editing. We only need to change the word home page to About page and then save the file. We've now seen that Flask can take the contents of an HTML file and render it to the screen for us. This is much more useful than typing our HTML code into a Python function. That's how Flask and other template frameworks work. In our next video, though, we are going to have a look at how Flask handles routing so that we can render different templates depending on what link is clicked. We currently have our home page, our About page, but in our next video, we will see how we can link those together using Flask.